This is Dominic. My name's Dan. We're going to be showing you the process for casting for foot orthotics in actually two different ways. The first way we're going to do it with a formal cast with him sitting right here, and then the next way we're going to do it, we're going to have him sit down and use a foam box impression. Both ways are effective, but we thought we'd just do both just to help make sure everyone understands there's more than one way to do things. All right?
Okay.
All right, so here we are, Dominic. We're going to do our first cast. Dominic has a bunion here, okay? That is what it is. And we're going to address that in the casting. But I just want to point out, this is one way to cast. We're going to do like a circumferential cast with like a Scotch cast or a fiberglass material. And you can get, basically we're just trying to treat his foot from underneath, okay? The rest of it coming up around the sides, it's okay, but that's why we also use foam impression boxes, because you don't need to do necessarily all of this, but the end product is still the same. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this sock on, because we want to help protect his skin. We're going to mark out prominent bony landmarks that he has. His first MTPJ, his navicular. The foot orthotics don't come up to the ankle, but I like to delineate where that's at. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side with his fifth PTJ and the base of his fifth metatarsal. So we're going to start our cast. Dominic, if you would, can you hold on to that for me? Now, I tell people this is one of their best friends in the room because we got to cut the cast off. So I cut down the tube and not the patient. So what we do here with this impression technique is get this material wet. You can use any kind of water. Usually cold water sets up more slowly, but we just start wrapping up his feet here. And then we're going to set it up, and as it sets up, we make sure his feet are in the right position. We have to make sure, especially for him, that we're controlling where his heel is, trying to get it more toward neutral, and obviously to support the arch. We don't want him leaving with foot orthotics that are flat when we have a diagnosis of hindfoot valgus. So as this goes by in time, what's going to happen is this is going to warm up and cool down, and it starts to take the shape of his feet. Just try to relax your feet as much as you can. There you go. So a lot of this you get the casting. The casting gets the shape, but that's not the whole process. What you're going to do next is we fill this with plaster. It takes the shape of his leg, or his foot in this case, and then we modify it. That's where the real experience of the second part of this comes in that you don't see. And we kind of smooth out any bumpy parts, or make sure everything is as smooth as possible, correct anything that we need to correct. You feel that getting warmer there?
Yeah, it's warm.
Okay. And of course my phone's going off as I'm trying
I hear
to.
music, yeah.
Yeah. There we go, it's on.
I thought maybe I'd have to dance for him.
Yeah.
Make sure it works.
Okay, so you feel that setting up, Dominic?
Yeah, it's doing something.
Okay, it's doing something. Yes, it is. So the process of this is, I like to use this kind of a fiberglass material now because it sets up a lot faster. Maybe 20 years ago, there was a lot of plaster of Paris, which is still used today. I kind of use it for body brace castings, TLSOs, if someone cannot stand. But this is much faster, much cleaner, stuff like that. Once the air bubbles stop giving off right here, which they basically are almost done, then we're going to cut this off. Okay, as you can see, his arch is up in the air. Okay, so that's good. That means the materials that we use are going to meet that arch like this, because I had to drop his first ray when in the casting, so we can make sure that that pronounces his arch a little bit more. It's either this or dynamite.
Oh, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever you do, you're the man. Oh, yeah, see it set up.
Yeah, this takes a little bit of time, but it's not a big deal. I joke with people and say that it usually gets more quiet right about now. Okay, that part's done. In my opinion, the way to go with foot orthotics is not to go into a store and buy a prefabricated thing. That's just the way I was trained, but everybody's foot is so different that when you're buying prefabricated things, it's usually just the shock absorption that you get from a foot orthotic, which is helpful, but you can never match someone's arch perfectly, in my opinion, unless you take a cast of their legs like we're doing right here. Okay, one is done.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you can see that his arch is much more, or excuse me, his heel is much more neutral right now in the cast. We try to swing it in, basically, and then pronounce the arch. All right, step one is done.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, so we'll do this. Okay, so we're in part two here. It doesn't always go like this. You either usually do one way or the other for foot orthotics. The other way with the casting we just showed, now you have the option, like that's more like an AFO cast a lot of times, because you can control more of the side part of the foot, and you're not guessing. So this is the second part. We're going to take a foam box impression of his feet, very soft stuff here, okay? And same general process, we're just trying to address the foot from underneath. So now when I do this, let me do all the work, okay?
Yeah.
A lot of times people want to help me, but that actually can go the wrong way.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up the foot. I'm actually going to put on some gloves, so time out. All right, so here's part two. I'm going to control basically where his knee is. We're going to, can I move this hand for you? Okay, we're going to move him back. We're going to move you on back. There you go. Okay, and we're going to get his knee in alignment more. Okay, and I'm going to pick you up just a little bit here just to straighten you out. Okay, bring you in. All right, so I'm going to push down, and we really want to focus in on the arch. So I'm going to show you in a second how we're going to prove that the arch is supported. So we're going to push you down here. Let's see if I can't get this foot in just a little bit more. Does this hurt at all if I press? Okay, I think we're okay. Okay, pick up for me. All right, so if you can see this box now, what I do is I check it. So we got the impression of his foot, but the truth is told like from the bottom part. And I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but his arch is up in the air. So this is a good impression for foot orthotics. And what we're going to do is just make sure we talk about, you know, any sort of history of open sores, diabetes, materials that we're going to use, shoes that he prefers, because no matter, you know, what, you know, you can treat the diagnosis, but the person's got to get it in their shoes, otherwise it's not effective at all. So there's dress shoes, there's athletic shoes. We're going to talk about all that in a little while, probably off camera, but that's the general process. Okay, thanks, Dominic.
Okay.